Yo, this is my first impression of Blood Death Knight after playing it through the first phase of Mythic Plus testing. I've been mostly playing this damage heavy build, but we'll also be trying this way more defensive build if needed for higher keys. Shweep! Here are the important changes to Blood DK in Dragonflight. The Infinite Dancing Rune Weapon extension playstyle from Season 3 and 4 of Shadowlands is gone. DK is back to the way it's been in the past few expansions, but with way more resource than before. Historically, Death Knights were always starved in the resource department. However, this is the first expansion Death Knights will start with little to no downtime. Empowered Rune Weapon, Runic Attenuation, and Icy Talons that used to be a part of Frost DK's set is now a part of Blood DK's. The legendary we played in Shadowlands Eternal Rune Weapon is also a talent we pick up. Dancing Rune Weapon's uptime is as high as 35% over the course of a dungeon compared to the 85% uptime we had in the end of Shadowlands, so it's not that bad. The new tier set gives us runes, and all of this combined allows Death Knights to have basically infinite resource. Gorfian's Grasp becomes a heavy point investment on the spec tree. However, Death Knights do have Abomination Limb and 2 charges of grip to make up for it. Blood Shields and Anti-Magic Shells are way larger now, giving us a deceptively lower damage intake because of the talents Gloom Ward and Iron Heart. AMS on a 40-second cooldown and lasting 7 seconds is also very noticeable for cheesing mechanics, like walking through fire or immuning a certain debuff. Deafen DK and Blood Plague are a lot more impactful now with all the new talents, especially Shattering Bones. Utility-wise, Death Knights can now have a 12-second kick similar to Shamans, or Blinding Sleet as an AoE stop. The additional grips on top of this make DK a really good tank for controlling mobs. But off the top of my head, Shadow Priest is definitely up there. Bear tank. So far, I'm loving the return of old DK playstyle. If you're looking to play DK in Dragonflight, you will want to track the buffs, Icy Talons, and D&D in addition to before. I've heard some complaints about having to play around D&D all the time, but it's really not that bad, unlike Paladin's Consecrate. I personally would have liked a couple of new buttons like some of the other Dragonflight tanks, but either way, this class has been an absolute blast to play. Right now in beta, Death Knight feels like one of the more complete specs. Hardly anything to complain about, except maybe it's a bit too powerful defensively with the infinite resources, massive absorbs, and powerful CDs. The new Red First makes Vampblood a noticeably short CD, and Umbilicus is a really powerful 1-point talent. Being able to take both Purg and Red First is also insane, something we've never had before. It is one of the strongest tanks defensively depending on the encounter, right up there with Warriors and Demon Hunters. Offensively, it is also right up there with most of the tanks, especially on AoE. Single target could lack a bit depending on the talent setup, since a lot of it is tied to talents like Bloodshot and a bunch of incremental damage talents. Currently, it's definitely a contender for one of the top tanks, if not the top tank. Overall, I have high hopes for DK in Dragonflight. The class is extremely fun, and most of the problems it had with damage, fret, or randomly getting one-shot has been solved. DK will definitely be one of those tanks that everyone wants to play if they care about being completely self-sufficient and not relying on healers or pug groups. There's a good chance this class will be played a ton in Raid, and for M+, it'll depend entirely on how they tune their damage, especially talents like Shattering Bones. I am definitely looking forward to playing DK and hope it stays strong enough to compete in the highest keys, as it's one of my all-time favorite tanks. We have no fucking space at all, holy shit. I just feel like I'm permanently out of range in this fight.
I am out of range.
I'm out of range. Yes, I am. Okay, let's see. So it counts it as all in one, since I'm doing up to a 54k crit. That's crazy. My heart strikes are slamming. What is this, Druid damage? Yeah, Druid damage is very OP.